Have you ever met someone who seems to see right through you, like they've got a sixth sense for your secrets, or who loves you so fiercely it's almost intimidating? That's the Scorpio energy we're diving into today, and let me tell you, it's a wild, magnetic ride. Welcome to 16 Reasons Why Scorpio is So Weird, where we're peeling back the layers of this zodiac sign to uncover what makes them so mysterious, intense, and downright fascinating. Born between October 23 and November 21, Scorpios are the water signs ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation, which gives them a knack for diving deep into life's big questions in a vibe that's equal parts enigma and devotion. They're the ones who lock eyes with you and make you feel like they know your whole story, or hold on to a promise like it's carved in stone, all while keeping their own cards close to the chest. If you're a Scorpio watching, you're probably smirking, ready to see how much we get right, and if you've got a Scorpio in your life, maybe a friend who's always analyzing everything or a sibling who's weirdly into true crime, you're about to understand why they're so hard to figure out yet impossible to forget. Even if you're just here because astrology's your thing or you stumbled across this while scrolling, you're in for a treat. Picture this as a late-night chat over hot cocoa, swapping stories about the Scorpios who keep us intrigued, challenged, and endlessly curious. So, what's on the horizon? We've got 16 reasons that capture the Scorpio spark, from their secretive hearts to their razor-sharp wit, their love for shaking things up, and the way they pull you in without saying a word. It's going to be a fun, eye-opening journey full of moments that'll make you laugh, nod along, and maybe even rethink that Scorpio you know. Grab a cozy spot, settle in, and let's get started unraveling why Scorpios are the zodiac's most captivating weirdos. 1. They're intensely private. Let's dive into reason 1. Scorpios are intensely private, and it's the kind of weird that makes them feel like a locked diary with a missing key. These folks guard their inner world like it's a secret vault, dodging personal questions with the finesse of a seasoned spy. Ask them about their weekend, and they'll spin a vague tale or flip the convo back to you before you've blinked. It's not that they're hiding something shady, their Pluto-ruled soul just craves a safe space where they control who gets a peek. I had a Scorpio friend who'd join our coffee chats, laughing along, but when we asked about her new job, she'd say it's fine and start asking about our lives instead. Later, I found out she'd landed a huge promotion, but to her, sharing felt like giving away a piece of herself. If you're an open book type, their guarded vibe can seem a bit weird, like they're playing a game of keep away with their thoughts. But here's the flip side, that privacy makes them magnetic. They don't spill their story to just anyone, so when they let you in, it's like being handed a rare gem. You feel trusted, special, like you've earned a spot in their circle. Sure, their secretive streak might leave you curious, but it's what makes Scorpios so intriguing, pulling you in with the promise of a mystery worth unraveling. 2. They read people like a book. Reason 2 is all about how Scorpios read people like a book, and it's a quirk that's equal parts spooky and impressive. Their water sign intuition is like a built-in radar, picking up on your mood, your secrets, even the stuff you're trying to hide, before you've said a word. They'll catch the flicker in your eyes or the way you shift when you're nervous, and boom, they've got your number. I had a Scorpio coworker who'd walk into a meeting and somehow know I was stressed about a deadline, offering a quick nod that said I see you without making it a thing. It wasn't mind reading, but it felt close, like she could sense the vibe in the room and decode it instantly. That's their gift, they don't just listen, they feel what's beneath the surface, spotting lies or hidden feelings like a pro. If you're used to flying under the radar, their X-ray vision can seem a bit weird, like they're peering into your soul without permission. But here's why it's amazing, their insight makes them incredible allies. They're the ones who know when you need a pep talk or a quiet moment, often before you do. They don't waste time on small talk, they get to the heart of things, making every connection deeper. Their weird knack for reading you might catch you off guard, but it's what makes them the friends you turn to when life gets real. 3. They hold grudges forever. Now for reason 3, Scorpios hold grudges forever, and it's a weirdness that's both legendary and a little comical. Cross a Scorpio, and they'll tuck that moment away like it's a collectible, never quite letting it fade from memory. They might forgive you, flash a smile, and move on, but deep down, they're keeping score, ready to recall that time you flaked on them in vivid detail. I had a Scorpio sibling who still brings up the time I ate her Halloween candy when we were kids, complete with a mock glare that's half joking, half serious. It's been years, but to her, it's like it happened last week. That's the Scorpio way, their water sign heart feels betrayals deeply, and their Pluto-ruled intensity means they don't let go easily. If you're someone who shrugs off slights, their long-term memory for grudges can seem a bit weird, like they're curating a museum of past wrongs. But here's the upside, that same passion fuels their loyalty. They remember the bad to protect what's good, guarding their loved ones like a fortress. When you're in their corner, they'll never forget your kindness either, repaying it tenfold. Their grudge-holding might make you chuckle, but it's also what makes them so fiercely devoted, turning their quirky intensity into a bond that's rock solid. 4. They're secretly emotional. Reason 4 gets to the heart of things. Scorpios are secretly emotional, and it's a quirk that hides behind their cool, tough exterior. On the outside, they're all sharp edges and steely gazes, projecting control like nobody's business. But beneath that armor, their water sign soul feels everything: joy, hurt, love, with a depth that could rival an ocean. They'll rarely let it show, though, masking their soft side with a shrug or a witty comeback. I knew a Scorpio who watched a cheesy rom-com with us, and while we were all sniffling, he sat stone-faced, claiming it was just okay. Later, I caught him rewatching it alone, eyes misty, muttering about dust in the room. That's their deal. They guard their feelings like treasure, only letting them slip in private or with their closest crew. If you're used to their intense vibe, this hidden tenderness can seem a bit weird, like finding a marshmallow center in a spicy chili. But here's why it's beautiful: their emotions give them depth. They're the ones who'll show up when you're falling apart, offering quiet support that hits just right, because they get it. They've felt the weight of the world too. Their secret softness might surprise you, but it's what makes them so real, turning their weird intensity into a warmth that lingers long after they're gone. 5. They're obsessed with control. Reason 5 is a big one. Scorpios are obsessed with control, and it's a weirdness that's as subtle as it is powerful. Whether it's calling the shots on a group project or keeping their emotions on a tight leash, they like to steer the ship, making sure everything unfolds on their terms. It's not about being bossy. Their Pluto-ruled nature just craves certainty in a world that feels unpredictable. I had a Scorpio friend who organized a camping trip, mapping out every detail, from the campfire schedule to who brought what snacks. When a sudden rainstorm hit, he didn't panic. Instead, he had backup tarps ready, like he planned for chaos itself. That's their style. They anticipate every curveball, quietly taking charge to keep things steady. If you're a go-with-the-flow type, their need to orchestrate can seem a bit weird, like they're directing a movie no one else sees. But here's the magic: their control makes things happen. They're the ones who ensure the plan doesn't flop, the deadline gets met, or your big moment shines, all because they've got it handled. Their obsessive grip might raise an eyebrow, but it's also what makes them so reliable, turning their quirky need for order into a strength we all lean on when the stakes are high. 6. They love the dark side. Reason 6 is where things get spicy. Scorpios love the dark side, and it's a quirk that sets them apart in the most intriguing way. While most folks stick to lighthearted fun, Scorpios are drawn to life's shadows. Think true crime podcasts, late-night talks about life's mysteries, or books that dig into the gritty stuff. It's not about being gloomy. Their water sign curiosity thrives on exploring what others shy away from. I knew a Scorpio who brought a paranormal documentary to a chill movie night, eyes gleaming as she explained why it was fascinating, while the rest of us were just trying to enjoy our pizza. She wasn't fazed by the creepy vibes. She leaned into them, like they were a puzzle to solve. That's their thing. They're not afraid to face the unknown, whether it's a deep question or a spooky story, and they'll pull you into their fascination if you let them. If you prefer sunny topics, their taste for the intense can seem a bit weird, like they're living in a noir film. But here's why it's cool: their bold curiosity pushes boundaries. They're the ones who spark conversations that make you think or inspire you to face your own fears. Their love for the dark might make you blink, but it's what makes them so fearless, turning their quirky edge into a vibe that's undeniably captivating. 7. They're fiercely loyal. Let's jump into reason 7. Scorpios are fiercely loyal, and it's a kind of weird that wraps you in warmth while blowing your mind. Once you're in their inner circle, they're your ride or die, standing by you through thick and thin like a personal bodyguard for your soul. They don't just have your back, they'll throw themselves into the fire to protect you, no questions asked. I had a Scorpio friend who, when I was going through a rough patch, dropped everything to sit with me, listening for hours and promising to have words with anyone who'd hurt me. Her intensity was almost startling, like she'd made a silent vow to never let me down. That's the Scorpio way. Their water sign heart locks onto their people with a devotion that's unshakable, and they'll hold that bond tighter than a vault. If you're used to casual friendships, their all-in loyalty can seem a bit weird, like they're ready to go to war over a coffee date. But here's the magic: that fierce commitment makes you feel safe, like you've got a teammate for life. They're the ones who'll keep your secrets forever, cheer your wins like their own, and never waver when the going gets tough. Their loyalty might feel larger than life, but it's what turns their weirdness into a love that's deep, true, and worth every moment of their intensity. 8. They're masters of sarcasm. Reason 8 is a fun one. Scorpios are masters of sarcasm, and their sharp wit is a quirky mix of charm and sting. They've got a knack for dropping one-liners that hit like a dart, precise, clever, and just edgy enough to make you laugh while you wince. It's not mean-spirited, their Pluto-ruled brain just sees the world with a sly clarity, and they can't resist poking at life's absurdities. I knew a Scorpio coworker who, during a painfully dull team meeting, muttered a quip about our boss's endless slideshow being worthy of an Oscar for patience. It was so deadpan, half the room snorted before they caught themselves, and he just smirked, unfazed. That's their style, they deliver sarcasm with such cool confidence, it lands like a mic drop, leaving you replaying their words for days. If you're someone who takes things at face value, their biting humor can seem a bit weird, like they're speaking a secret language of snark. But here's why it's awesome, their wit keeps things real. They're the ones who cut through the fluff, make boring moments bearable, and get everyone laughing when tension's high. Their sarcastic streak might catch you off guard, but it's what makes them so magnetic, turning their quirky edge into a spark that lights up any room they're in. 9. They thrive on transformation. Reason 9 dives into something epic. Scorpios thrive on transformation, and it's a weirdness that's as bold as it gets. Change isn't just something they handle, they chase it, like a phoenix rising from its own ashes, always ready to reinvent themselves. Whether it's switching up their style, diving into a new career, or rethinking their whole life's path, they embrace upheaval with a passion that's almost electric. I had a Scorpio classmate who went from being a quiet bookworm to launching a startup, complete with a new haircut and a vibe that screamed confidence. When I asked what sparked it, she said she needed to shed her old skin to grow, like it was the most natural thing ever. That's their Pluto-ruled magic, they don't fear endings, they see them as doorways to something better. If you're someone who clings to routine, their love for shaking things up can seem a bit weird, like they're addicted to starting over. But here's the beauty, their transformations inspire. They're the ones who show you it's never too late to chase a dream or become who you're meant to be. Their restless reinvention might make you dizzy, but it's what makes them so alive, turning their quirky hunger for change into a fire that pushes everyone to grow alongside them. 10. They're weirdly secretive about hobbies. Reason 10 is a hidden gem. Scorpios are weirdly secretive about their hobbies, and it's a quirk that adds another layer to their mystery. While most folks share their passions on social media or chat about them non-stop, Scorpios tuck theirs away, revealing them only to a trusted few, like rare treasures. They might spend hours mastering something niche, think obscure vinyl records or intricate woodworking, but you'd never know unless they decide you're worthy. I had a Scorpio neighbor who seemed all business, always rushing off to work, until one day I spotted her sketching in a notebook filled with stunning designs. When I asked about it, she blushed, saying it was just a side thing, but it was museum-worthy. That's their deal, their water sign soul pours intensity into these private escapes, but they guard them fiercely, maybe to keep them pure. If you're an oversharer, their hobby hiding can seem a bit weird, like they're stashing a double life. But here's why it's charming, when they share that secret passion, it's a gift. You feel like you've unlocked a piece of their world, and it's always deeper than you expected. Their sneaky creativity might puzzle you, but it's what makes them so fascinating, turning their weird privacy into a quiet spark that surprises and delights. 11. They're all or nothing. Reason 11 gets to their core. Scorpios are all or nothing, and it's a weirdness that's as intense as a lightning bolt. They don't do half measures, whether it's a project, a relationship, or a random goal, they dive in with every ounce of their being or walk away without a glance. Their Pluto-ruled heart doesn't know middle ground, it's either full throttle or full stop, no in between. I knew a Scorpio who decided to learn guitar, and instead of casual strumming, he practiced for hours daily, turning his apartment into a mini studio until he could play like a pro. When I asked why so serious, he said if it's worth doing, it's worth mastering, classic Scorpio logic. That's their vibe, they pour their soul into what lights them up, but if the spark's gone, they're out, no apologies. If you're someone who coasts along, their extreme approach can seem a bit weird, like they're turning everything into a life or death mission. But here's the payoff, their passion is infectious. They're the ones who make you want to go big, chase your own dreams, or at least try a little harder. Their all-or-nothing energy might feel overwhelming, but it's what fuels their magic, turning their quirky intensity into a drive that makes the world more vibrant for everyone around them. 12. They're surprisingly romantic. Reason 12 flips the script. Scorpios are surprisingly romantic, and it's a quirk that softens their tough vibe in the sweetest way. Beneath their intense, guarded exterior beats a water sign heart that loves with a depth most only dream of. They might not flaunt it, but when they fall hard, crafting gestures that are either grand or quietly profound, always soul-stirring. I had a Scorpio friend who seemed all sarcasm and edge, but for his partner's birthday, he wrote a letter so heartfelt it left everyone teary, pouring out feelings he'd never voiced aloud. It wasn't just words, it was like he'd bared his core, and he did it with that quiet Scorpio intensity. That's their secret, they don't just love, they consume it, whether it's a sweeping date under the stars or a simple touch that says I'm here. If you're used to their brooding side, this romantic streak can seem a bit weird, like a lion turning into a poet overnight. But here's why it's beautiful, their love is real, raw, and unwavering. They're the ones who make you believe in forever, not with cliches but with a passion that cuts through noise. Their hidden romance might catch you by surprise, but it's what makes them unforgettable, turning their weird depth into a love that hits like a tidal wave. 13. They're obsessed with trust. Reason 13 digs deep. Scorpios are obsessed with trust, and it's a weirdness that shapes their world like nothing else. For them, loyalty isn't just nice, it's everything, a sacred bond they test before letting anyone close. They'll watch, wait, and weigh your actions, making sure you're solid before they open their guarded heart. I knew a Scorpio who took months to share a personal story with our friend group, always steering chats to lighter stuff until she was certain we'd keep her confidence. When she finally opened up, it was like being handed a key to her soul, raw and real. That's their deal, their water sign nature craves trust so fiercely, they'd rather stay walled off than risk a breach. If you're a quick-to-bond type, their slow approach can seem a bit weird, like they're auditioning you for a secret club. But here's why it's powerful, once you earn their trust, it's ironclad. They're the ones who'll guard your secrets like treasure and stand by you no matter what. Their trust obsession might feel intense, but it builds bonds that last a lifetime, making their quirky caution a foundation for something truly unbreakable. 14. They're night owls by nature. Reason 14 is a quirky one. Scorpios are night owls by nature, and it's a weirdness that makes them glow when the world's asleep. While most of us are winding down, they come alive under the stars, their Pluto-ruled minds buzzing with ideas, dreams, or deep thoughts. They'll text you a wild theory at 2 a.m. or stay up crafting something brilliant, like the night's their personal playground. I had a Scorpio cousin who'd send me random playlists in the wee hours, each song feeling like a peek into her soul. When I asked why she was up, she said nighttimes when things get clear, like daylight hides the truth. That's their vibe, the quiet of night fuels their intensity, letting them wrestle with life's big questions or just soak in the stillness. If you're an early bird, their late-night energy can seem a bit weird, like they're part vampire. But here's the charm, their nocturnal spark creates magic. They're the ones who dream up bold plans or share truths that hit different after midnight. Their night owl ways might puzzle you, but they're what makes Scorpios so electric, turning darkness into a canvas for their brilliance. 15. They're magnetic in silence. Reason 15 is pure Scorpio magic, they're magnetic in silence, and it's a weirdness that pulls you in without a single word. They don't need to shout or show off, something about their quiet presence, that intense gaze or subtle smirk, commands attention like a spotlight. You'll feel it in a crowded room, their vibe drawing eyes before they've even spoken. I knew a Scorpio who showed up to a party and barely said a thing, yet people gravitated to her, like her stillness held a story no one could resist. That's their gift, their water sign depth radiates power, making every pause feel loaded with meaning. If you're used to chatty charisma, their silent pull can seem a bit weird, like they're casting a spell just by existing. But here's why it's incredible, their quiet strength speaks louder than words. They're the ones who make you feel seen with a glance or shift the mood without trying. Their magnetic silence might catch you off guard, but it's what makes them unforgettable, turning their quirky calm into a force that lingers in your mind. 16. They're uniquely powerful. Reason 16 wraps it up with a bang. Scorpios are uniquely powerful, and their weirdness is the heartbeat of their strength. Take all their quirks, their secrecy, their loyalty, their love for life's edges, and you've got a zodiac sign that's a force of nature, like a storm that reshapes everything it touches. They don't just live, they burn bright, transforming themselves and inspiring others with a passion that's raw and real. I think of a Scorpio mentor who faced setbacks that would have crushed most, yet rebuilt her life with a fire that left us all in awe, like she was rewriting her own story. That's their essence. Pluto's influence gives them a resilience that turns pain into purpose, mystery into allure. They'll love fiercely, chase truth fearlessly, and stand tall when the world shakes, all while keeping you guessing. Their intensity might seem weird to some, like they're playing life on a higher setting, but it's their power. They're the ones who teach us to dig deeper, fight harder, and never settle for less than what sets our soul alight. If you ever doubt what strength looks like, just watch a Scorpio. They're proof that weird is just another word for extraordinary, making every moment with them a reminder to live boldly and love fully. Well, friends, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the 16 reasons why Scorpios are so wonderfully weird, and what a ride it's been. Let's look back at the magic we've uncovered. We've marveled at their private hearts that guard secrets like treasures, been spooked by how they read us like open books, and chuckled at grudges they hold tighter than a vault. We've felt their hidden emotions, seen their need to control the chaos, and grinned at their love for life's darker corners. They're loyal to a fault, sarcastic with style, and always reinventing themselves like it's their job. Don't forget their secret hobbies, their all-or-nothing passion, or the surprising romance that softens their edge. We've nodded at their obsession with trust, admired their late-night spark, and been drawn in by their silent magnetism. And let's not overlook that unique power that makes them shine, a blend of intensity and heart that's all their own. Scorpios are like a midnight sky, mysterious, deep, and impossible to look away from. Now, think about the Scorpios in your life. Maybe you're one, always chasing truth or loving with everything you've got, or you know someone who's got that piercing gaze and unshakable loyalty. They're the ones who make us feel alive, push us to be real, and remind us what passion looks like. So, let's get you in on the fun. If you're a Scorpio, hop into the comments and tell me which reason nailed you. Do you hoard secrets or light up at night? If you've got a Scorpio pal, tag them and see if they agree with our list. I bet they'll have a smirk for it. And this is for everyone. Drop your zodiac sign below and share a story about a time a Scorpio blew your mind or left you curious. I'm dying to hear your cosmic tales, so let's keep the chat going. If you had fun today, give this video a big thumbs up, it helps more folks find our zodiac adventures. Subscribe and hit that bell so you're first in line for our next video, because we've got tons more star sign stories coming, from fiery Sagittarians to gentle Pisceans. Tell me in the comments what sign you want next, I'm all ears. Thanks for joining me on this Scorpio journey, it's been a thrill unraveling their mysteries with you. Keep shining, stay true, and I'll see you soon for more astrology vibes. Catch you later.